This is IGN. It's good to have Sam Fisher back, but as with the games, we need more. This is your IGN review of Netflix's Splinter Cell Deathwatch by Ryan McCaffrey. For people who decide to give Splinter Cell Deathwatch a try on Netflix that are unfamiliar with Sam Fisher's long and incredible run in the 2000s as the stealth video game genre's Pepsi to Metal Gear Solid's Coke, they're gonna find a violent, slightly over-the-top, yet pretty captivating 8-episode spy show. But for those of us who have loved Splinter Cell for over 20 years and waited more than half of that time for a new game, Deathwatch will be all of those things, but also a bit bittersweet. First, the sweet part of bittersweet is that the show is quite good. The characters are all fun and have important roles to play in moving the story forward. Liev Schreiber is an outstanding understudy to Michael Ironside from the games as the voice of Fisher, and the show is paced well enough that I kept eagerly pressing next episode until I finished all 8 parts, both times I watched it. The bitter comes from the realization that not only are we still no closer to a new Splinter Cell game, but this show is so far along in the timeline that we might not have much more time with my favorite sardonic super spy. Yes, Deathwatch picks up decades after Splinter Cell Blacklist, the most recent game. Anna Grimsdottir is running Shadow Ops' U.S. government agency 4th Echelon, and Sam Fisher is living a quiet, night vision goggle-free life on a farm in Poland. In fact, Sam has all of 2 lines of dialogue in the entire first episode. That's because Deathwatch begins by tracking young Agent Zinnia McKenna, voiced by Kirby Howell-Baptiste, in the middle of an op gone bad. The fellow agent she's been sent to Lithuania to extract is quite dead, the victim of torture, in fact. Her youthful rage leads her to make a mistake Fisher wouldn't, and before long, all hell is broken loose, with Fisher being very unwillingly roped into the whole mess and back to the life he thought he'd left behind. By the end of the first episode, I was intrigued and ready for the rest of the series, not to mention relieved that Sam was clearly going to be a central part of Deathwatch, and that showrunner Derek Kolstad, whose action resume includes creating John Wick, wasn't simply resurrecting Fisher to try and hand off the Splinter Cell brand to McKenna and a new generation of 4th Echelon agents. No. By the end of the second episode, Sam is very much the star of the show, and Season 1 is better for it. Does the plot get a bit nonsensical towards the end? Sure, but then again, so did the games. On a related note, I did appreciate that, whether it was intentional or not, and I'd lean towards it being on purpose. Deathwatch does allude to a couple of missions from the best of all the games, Chaos Theory, without outright retreading them. In fact, the final 2 episodes are titled Chaos Theory Part 1 and Part 2. Other Easter eggs from the past include not 1, but 2 very familiar sound effects. There's the classic tri-lens night vision goggles turning on, of course, but I particularly appreciated the radio comms activation noise being ripped straight from the original Xbox days of the franchise. While there's certainly nothing stopping Ubisoft, who produced the show, and Netflix from keeping animated Splinter Cell alive for many years to come by simply doing flashback seasons that take us back to Sam Fisher's prime super spy days, the more likely reality is that this old man Sam isn't going to be around for the long haul by nature of where this show starts us in Fisher's life. If that proves to be the case, it either means this show itself will be with us all too briefly, or Schreiber's Fisher will hand the reins to Howell-Baptiste's McKenna, which audiences might resist, as it'd be like killing off Batman and turning it into a Robin show. I find the former to be more likely. After all, Netflix only gave The Legend of Lara Croft, which in fairness was not a good show, 2 seasons, and even the stellar Castlevania only got 4 seasons. Plus, historically speaking, Sam Fisher is Splinter Cell. We don't get a lot more time with Sam Fisher in this bloody good Splinter Cell animated series, but thanks to a great turn as Fisher by Liev Schreiber and a briskly paced plot with enjoyable characters, it's time well spent. If it were a book, it'd be a page-turner. The half-hour episodes fly by, and then it's over before you know it. But it's time well spent with an older, grumpier version of our favorite secret agent super spy. Netflix's Splinter Cell Deathwatch's IGN score? 8 out of 10. Thanks for listening to IGN. My name is Tony Jackson, and for the latest Splinter Cell updates, visit us at IGN.com.
Spoken Layer.